Welcome back to Civil Engineers YouTube channel. In this video lecture, I will guide you for why plinth and floor beams are important in building construction. Today video is very interesting, so therefore watch this video till the end to know about importance of plinth and floor beam in building construction. If you are new on this channel, so you may subscribe this channel with press bell icon. If you are old on this channel, so you may like this video if it's looking good to you. Okay, let's get started, guys. Why plinth and floor beams are important in building construction? Most of the people, so when they are making construction, so sometimes they can tell you that plinth beam and floor beams are not important. Just build your house. So these are not important for building construction. So why it's not important? Why it's important? So let me tell you first of all. If you see, guys, here in this diagram, so this is footing. This is also footing. If you see on the top of these footings are connected by a beam which is called plinth beam. This is called plinth beam. If you see, guys, on the top of this plinth beam or inside this plinth beam, this is called column. This one is also column. On the top of these two columns, guys, you can see this one. This is called floor beam. That's why, because it's connected with a beam, with a slab, okay? With a floor. On the top of this we have first floor, so therefore, so this is also called slab beam, okay? This is called floor beam. On the top of this floor beam, guys, you can see this is called RCC slab. So this is the introduction of this diagram. Now you know very well footings are connected by a plinth beam. On the top of the plinth beam we have columns. It means columns are also connected by a plinth beam. On the top of this plinth beam, again, these columns are free if we don't provide any floor beam. So we provided floor beam. On the top of this is RCC slab. Remember, guys, first of all, plinth beam is important to provide on the top of the ground level or inside ground level also. It's depend on the structural design. It's depend on the situation of any building, okay? So therefore, guys, plinth beam are connected these footings with each other, especially at the ground level. That's why if we don't provide the plinth beam and you directly start the brick masonry, so how you can provide the brick masonry if you don't have the plinth beam? So it means you will do some filling of stone masonry or anything. You will do something if you don't provide the plinth beam. On the top of this you will start brick masonry like this, guys. This is brick masonry, okay? As you can see here, these are bricks. Watch the video at the end, then you will know very well everything, okay? So this is brick masonry. Actually, the brick masonry, it can provide a level or at the ground, especially for the brick masonry. And these brick masonry loads are on the top of this plinth beam. These plinth beams or this plinth beam distribute this brick masonry load to the footings, and footing transfer to the soil. So therefore this is very important. So if you don't provide the plinth beam, so these footings are free, okay? So when they are free, it cannot distribute the load, okay? So you have more chances of cracks. So maybe it will make settlement. These here you can see, so here we will put some material to make a ground especially for the brick masonry. So therefore this is very important, okay? So it means plinth beams are connecting the footings with each other. Then we don't have chances of cracks in building. Next, remember guys, depth of, or you can say depth of plinth beam should not be less than 12 inches. Okay, it means you can keep 9 inches width and 12 inches depth. Okay, the depth should be greater than its width. So this is very important. Next guys, if you see, we have floor beam. Okay, again, if you don't provide the floor beam and directly you place the RCC slab. Okay, so these columns are not connected properly because this is frame structure, and frame structure, so if you remove the wall from here, these brick masonry, so the structure will be okay. Otherwise, if you provide directly this slab on the top of these columns, these two columns are 4 columns, so when you remove the brick masonry, or if we have the any cracks in brick masonry, so you will face more problems. So it is very easy to collapse. Okay, so therefore guys, on the top of these columns, floor beam is very important to connect these two columns with each other. And on the top of this, we are providing RCC slab. So when the slab, when we transfer the load on the top of the slab, so slab transfer to the floor beam, and floor beam distribute the load to the columns. Columns distribute the load on this beam, and also brick masonry is already has a structure load. Okay, or self load. This structure or self load of the brick masonry is also distributed by this plinth beam, and plinth beam transfer to the footings, footing transfer to the soil. So this is the proper way of, or this is the proper load mechanism, load transfer mechanism in this RCC structure. So therefore, floor beam and plinth beam is very important. So these are the main bones of any structure, especially for residential building or commercial building. So therefore, I am recommending you that floor beam and plinth beam is very important to provide. The floor beam depth should not be less than 12 inches. Also with RCC slab, so you can get the full depth up to 18 inches. That's why, because slab thickness is also you can say 6 inches, and 12 inches is the depth of the floor beam, and width you can keep with the brick size or the block size, no problem. But floor beam is very important in building construction to make a proper structure. Okay, so for example, as I told you before, when you provide the brick masonry, on the top of the brick masonry and column, when you provide the slab, so when you remove the brick masonry, so the building will be collapsed. If you have cracks in the building, so in the future you can't work on the top of this. Thanks for watching. See you in next video. Goodbye.